Hi guys, so I'm going to read Tales to Astonish number 43. Is this the end of Ant-Man? The mad master of time had the one power which even Ant-Man was helpless against. The power of old age. Don't miss this startling, dramatic Ant-Man saga.
What's happening to me? I'm growing older. Older.
The Astonishing Ant-Man versus the Mad Master of Time. Plot Stan Lee. Script Larry Lieber. Art Don Heck. Lettering Ray Holloway. Thousands of footsteps tread daily upon the sidewalks of Center City. And at this moment, a tiny costumed figure hastens among them, unnoticed.
Can't wait to get back to my lab and become normal size again. The noise of this crowd is almost deafening to Ant-Man's tiny ears.
But accidents can happen anytime, involving anyone, even one as small as an ant.
Oops, telegram slipped out of my hand. What? Where did this fall from? I better pick it up before it gets stepped on. I'll never get a tip, delivering a crumpled telegram.
But when the boy lifts the telegram...
Hey, it's the Ant-Man.
There he is. Careful, don't step on him.
Look at his colorful costume. Isn't he adorable?
Say, Ant-Man, how about your autograph for my kid? You're his #1 hero.
Sorry, pal, but there's no pen or pencil small enough for me to write with.
Besides, Mech, even if he did write his name, your kid would need a microscope to read it.
As the crowd grows larger, the Ant-Man emits electronic signal through his cybernetic helmet. And moments later...
Look! He summoned one of his ants to carry him away.
Oh, don't leave yet. I'm a reporter from the Woman's Gazette. I want to ask you some questions. Sorry, ma'am. Perhaps some other time. Ooh. I'd sooner face a mob of criminals than a crowd of admirers. Guess I'm just too shy for the role of public celebrity.
The tiny figure departs, and the crowd disperses. But the same telegram which revealed the Ant-Man's presence is destined to soon lead him into a grim and fantastic adventure.
Professor Elias Weems?
That's me, son. It's from my grandson, Tommy. Next month the lad gets a vacation from school, and he wants to spend it with me. He's coming here to Center City. Gosh, it'll be good to see Tommy again. The lad loves me, and he's so proud 'cause I'm a scientist. I'll take him to the laboratory and show him all the interesting things going on. He'll be thrilled.
But the following week, disaster strikes.
Fired? But why? What have I done?
It's our new company policy to discharge all employees over 65 years of age. Distraught, panicky, Elias Weems goes all the way to the top to plead for his job. But to no avail. Sorry, Weems, but modern scientific research needs young, alert minds. Old-timers like yourself no longer fit the bill. Your ideas are unimaginative and outdated.
Too old. Outdated. After years of faithful service, I'm tossed aside like worthless rubbish. It isn't right. And Tommy, who's so proud of me, when he arrives and learns I've been fired, he'll no longer respect me. I'll lose the boy's love, his admiration, everything that matters to me. Well, I won't take this lying down. A society cruel enough to condemn a man solely because of his age should itself be condemned. Yes, that's it. I shall make society pay for the wrong they've done me, and I'll use their own weapon, age. It will be a poetic revenge. They said I was too old. Well, I shall invent a machine that will make others too old. A machine to age all living creatures. If I can create electromagnetic energy which will increase the motion of the body's atoms, then I'll be able to quicken the atomic activity of all living tissues, and thus cause them to age.
Like a man possessed, Elias Weems labors night and day on the instrument of his revenge.
I'll show them. Soon they shall know how wrong they were. Only then it will be too late.
Finally, the fantastic machine is completed.
I'll experiment first on a primitive life form. Ah, that young sapling. There, I've switched on the ray. It's bathing the entire young tree. Hyperenergy is increasing the atomic activity within the sapling cells. I've done it! Within mere seconds, I've made a young tree reach the end of its lifespan. It's now in the twilight of its life. My machine worked perfectly, but that was only the first experiment. Now I must conduct a more ambitious test, using an animal life form.
And what better place to find animals than the local zoo? But fate is spinning her grim web, for among the spectators is Henry Pym.
As the Ant-Man, I'm so concerned with tiny insects that I seldom think about the larger creatures of Earth. Wouldn't it be impressive if I could control those huge mammals through my cybernetic helmet as easily as I control ants? I can make them do anything.
But Henry Pym's daydream is suddenly shattered by a startling sight.
Look!
I must be seeing things. The baby elephant. It's getting bigger.
It's growing into maturity, right before our eyes.
And, within a few fantastic seconds,
It's aged so much, it seems older than its own parent now. Another success. Now I'll just switch on the antimatter energy beam and reverse the process. Now the elephant's growing smaller. It's getting younger.
There seems to be some kind of ray trained on the animal. It's coming from the shadows back there. This was the area where the ray came from, but it's gone now.
Only one remaining test, the most important one of all.
later, in another part of the city,
Hey guys, dig the luscious chick.
There, I'm focused on that girl. She doesn't even realize what's happening.
Gorgeous chick. Who you trying to kid?
That thing could pass for my mother.
What she... I...
but then, after Elias Weems restores his unsuspecting victim to her rightful age again,
I've done it! I've proven that I can age humans as well as animals. I'm the master of age, the master of time.
the following day,
The guy calls himself the Time Master. What do you think? Must be something odd.
But suppose he's on the level. Suppose he can really do, or he really can do what he claims. Remember that wacky incident at the zoo yesterday?
as the officers speak, their words are picked up by the tiny antenna of several ants within the station house. He says that unless we surrender the city to him, make him the boss of it, he'll begin to make people old before their time. The ants then send out electronic impulses, which are detected and relayed by countless other ants dispersed throughout the city. The message travels on and on through the vast insect network, until it finally reaches the communications nerve center, the laboratory of Henry Pym. The electronic waves are originating from Station House 86. Changing into his costume, Pym releases his reducing gas and enters his catapult. Then, training the miniature device on an alley near the police station, the tiny crime fighter shoots himself into the air. Zoom!
My little pals are converging in the alley. They're forming a living anthill. Couldn't ask for a softer landing spot.
Minutes later,
and we have no idea who this Time Master really is.
We don't know if he's just a screwball, or if he really has some means of speeding up the aging process.
One thing's for sure. If he is on the level, we're in trouble.
His note didn't read like a typical crank letter. It was well written and carefully thought out.
It's just fantastic enough to be possible. I'll keep my eyes open, fellas. First, an elephant suddenly ages. And now this threat. It adds up. Except for one thing. Why would anybody with such great scientific ability turn it against society?
playing a hunch, the Ant-Man visits various labs around town. Angry or bitter? Yes, one old fellow, Elias Weems. We had to let him go because he was too old, and I'm afraid he took it quite hard.
Fired because of his age, and now he threatens to age his fellow men. This could be the lead I'm after. Quick, let me have Weems' address.
Meanwhile,
I told the police to answer my ultimatum in the newspaper, but there's nothing here. They defied me. All right, I gave them their chance. Now it's my turn. Society has wronged me. Society must pay for that. And by thunder, they shall pay.
Not if I can help it. I know who you are, Weems, but you can't go through with your mad plan.
The Ant-Man. I don't know how you discovered me, but it doesn't matter. You can't stop me.
before the Ant-Man can act, Elias Weems grabs his fantastic ray gun and switches it on.
There, you're trapped, and soon you shall be old, just as I am.
I'm changing, maturing. But how? How is it happening?
Hyper-energy is increasing the motion of your atoms. Every cell in your body is moving faster, taking you to the end of your lifespan.
Tired, weak, I've aged years. But why did you stop the machine? You could have finished me.
I wish you no harm. I only want to keep you from interfering with my plans. And now, my aged little foe,
I can't run. My legs are no longer limber. My body has lost its resiliency.
you're old and feeble, but not helpless. Not while you still have your helmet. There! Now you won't be able to enlist the aid of your ants. It's a pity that my eyesight is too poor to absorb your tiny features clearly. When my task is done, I'll view you more closely through a magnifying glass. Until then, you shall remain imprisoned in this flower pot?
A few minutes ago, I could have climbed up these stones easily. But now I'm too weak, too old. Is this the end of Ant-Man?
Now that the Ant-Man is taken care of, I shall vent my wrath upon this entire city. My first victims will be those in the area of City Hall.
I just remembered. Neither Weems nor anyone else knows that the Ant-Man can change his size, can grow to normal size.
I may not be able to climb out of here, but by releasing my growth gas, there, I'm free of that prison, but still trapped in an elderly body. But, infirm or not, with the cybernetic helmet again in my possession, I'm back in business. I won't reduce myself again until I reach City Hall. I'd make better time traveling this size, and wearing Weems' coat over my costume, I'm not apt to be recognized.
Sometime later, the aged figure of Henry Pym arrives on the scene.
There he is, on the roof across from City Hall. He's about to aim his aging ray at the crowd. I'd better release my reducing gas at once. In a couple of seconds, I'll be small enough to again wear my helmet. Then I can establish contact with the ants.
But, even as the Ant-Man dons his helmet,
They fired me. They said I was old and worthless. Well, now vengeance shall be mine.
Click.
Oh no, I'm growing older. What's happening?
That ray! It must be the ray. But how? How?
We're all aging. It's impossible. It's madness. It can't be happening. And yet, my hands, my skin, look at them. I feel so tired, so weary.
then, amidst all the confusion, a young lad emerges from the nearby railroad station.
It's Gramps, up on the roof. Gramps! Gramps! What are you doing up there? What's going on?
Tommy, I didn't expect you today. Run! Get away from here, fast!
But, before the youngster can flee to safety,
The ray is striking him. He's growing older. No, it mustn't happen to Tommy. Not to him.
Elias Weems looks on, horrified, as the one person in the world he loves most, his grandson, becomes another helpless victim of his deadly aging ray. Meanwhile,
I've gathered my ants for battle. Now to command them to crawl up to the roof and attack Weems.
but, at that moment,
Must switch the aging beam onto reverse, so that I can make Tommy young again. It slipped out of my hand. No, no!
but, observing what has happened, the Ant-Man barks a desperate command.
Quickly, my pets! Form an anthill!
That ray gun must not shatter on the ground.
Look, those ants saved the ray gun for being smashed into a million pieces. So what? Who wants to blast the thing? Look what it did to us.
Listen to me. By reversing the instrument's controls, we can undo all the harm it has done. Pick up that ray gun and trail it on me, on all of us. That's right. It's working.
And so, thank heavens, my wrinkles are vanishing. My muscles are becoming limber.
It's a miracle.
We're returning to our normal ages. Moments later,
Tommy! Thank heavens you're all right.
Gramps! Gramps!
That old man. It was him. He's to blame? Yeah, somebody grab him. Tommy, Tommy, I was such a fool. I wanted your love and respect. And then, in my desperation, I almost did a terrible thing. Can you forgive me, son?
Don't cry, Gramps. I'll always love you, no matter what.
Let's go, mister. You've got a date with the judge.
All right, break it up, folks.
But once more, fate takes an ironic turn. For, in court, Elias Weems finds a compassion he didn't suspect existed.
Your Honor, Weems isn't really a criminal. He was just confused and afraid of losing his grandson's affection. He was tormented, and in his agony he blamed society.
In a sense, some of us were to blame. I fired him for his age. I said he was too old and unimaginative. Well, this old man invented the most fantastic machine of our time, and I'd be honored if he'd work for me again. And thus it comes to pass.
See? This is the lab where I work, Tommy.
Golly, look at all the gadgets. They're terrific. For a while, he hated society, but now he's one of its most valuable members again.
And I've learned my lesson. Never again will I judge a man's worth solely on the basis of his age.
In a way, we've all learned something. We've learned to appreciate our youth and strength, and to make the most of them while we can, the better to serve humanity.
And that's the end. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, that'd be appreciated. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys later.